Welcome to another course. Today we are discussing CRM Fundamentals, the system behind every lead, every conversation, and every customer. It is something that you want to understand before you implement it. For you to be able to maintain your clients in a communication, for you to be able to nurture your client after an acquisition has been done, you need some sort of system. Some people use a spreadsheet, some people use real software to do all of this. And that's what we're going to discuss today. Let's get to it. Again, thank you so much for joining. Number one, what a CRM really is. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. It is important for you to understand that some of these things could be automated. Some of these things you have to do it yourself. And some of these things you're going to be able to implement AI into it. So we're going to understand all of this and we're going to package it all together. A CRM truly is a system for managing leads, customers, and actually be able to do follow-up. Follow-up is going to be an important term that we're going to be using throughout this course because that is where most sales are lost. That is where most clients are lost. And that's why people are always dissatisfied the most, no matter what industry you are when it comes to being a service-based business. CRM is not just a software. Like I said, you could be doing it from a spreadsheet, or you can be using a real software to be able to help you with everything. But the idea and what you do within an actual CRM goes beyond being a software. Okay, we're going to talk more about that. Now, the goal here with the CRM is to never lose an opportunity, to never lose a client, to never have a dissatisfied client. That is what a CRM could truly help you to achieve. Let's say if you're a contractor, if you're a law firm or a consultant, it is often already, and you're already running some sort of official CRM, this is absolutely for you. Again, spreadsheets is one thing that people use a lot. Maybe you're using your inbox from your email. Maybe you have some notebooks, or I hope you're really not doing this, but maybe you're doing it from memory. I really hope that's not the one that you're doing. If we bring all of that together, if we bring what we have in our memory, if we bring what we have in our inbox, if we bring what we have in our notes and our spreadsheets, and we put it all together in one system, that one system can really become our CRM. Customer Relationship Management. Why service business lose leads? Why do you lose leads? It's a really important question. I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to really have in mind, why is it that is truly happening in your business that it's making you lose leads? People that have actually reached out to you, people that you have contacted, that you just lost them. Okay, what is it? I think I know, but let's discuss it, right? Leads come from many places, many different places. You know, depending on where you advertise your business, it could come from a billboard, it can come from a newspaper, from some sort of ad, it can come from your website, it can come from the phone calls, from your phone specifically. You know, maybe you do actually really bring a good solution and you are amazing at the service that you do and you're getting a lot of referrals. Maybe you have an amazing Instagram account and maybe you have your social media is actually set up properly and you're getting a lot of DMs, or you're getting some sort of DMs, and then that's how you get your leads. Where are your leads coming from? They just come from many different places. Okay, now without one central system, things get missed. You are going to miss it. You know, you are a human being with two eyes, two hands. Hopefully you have everything as basic. If you have some sort of disability, you know, I feel for you 100%. And obviously I definitely want to make sure that this helps you one way or another, with or without disabilities. Again, you're going to miss something and you have to understand what you're capable of, what your capabilities are, and what is it that you're really good at. Okay, are you really good with your memory? Are you really good at taking notes? Are you really good at creating spreadsheets? You know, it's important to understand what you're good at. Missed follow-up creates lost revenue. Follow-ups, it's one of the biggest problems that every business has, especially in the service-based industry. Because if you're selling a product, people just come to the website, they either buy or they don't buy the product. There's really not much follow-up to do besides the fact of how that person how was the experience with the product itself. Well, when people buy a product, they just buy a product, period. But when it's a service, that's when you really start getting a lot of, think about it. Let me talk it over with my wife. Let me talk it over with my dog. Let me ask my neighbor. Let me see if I have enough money for this. You know, I don't know if this is right for me. You know, a service-based business, it is something that really leaves with clients through the acquisition process with a lot to think about. And we want to make it as simple as possible. But most of the time, we are going to have to do follow-up. And the person that does better at following up is the person that's going to get more deals. I promise you that. A management problem comes before volume problem. A lot of people think that let me just get through through the clients that I have, let me get a lot of volume. And then when I have a lot of volume, let me add a CRM. Now, when I have a lot of clients, I'm gonna install a CRM. I'm gonna start using a CRM. I'm gonna start using some sort of way to follow up with my clients and all of this. And that is a mistake. It's a true mistake, because a management problem comes before the volume problem. You have to understand that if you can't even manage 10, 20 clients, how do you expect to manage 100 clients? Would you be able to get 100 clients if you already got to 10, 20? Yes, absolutely. But are you truly going to be able to give the service that they need to these 100 clients that you just acquire? Are they truly going to be happy with your services after the acquisition was done? Are you that type of person that just like gets clients to get clients and then just see what happens after? Sometimes it works. Maybe at the beginning it works a little bit, but you are going to start getting dissatisfied clients. You're not going to be able to maximize on those 100 clients that you acquire if you don't have a management problem figured out. If you don't have a CRM, if you don't have a true way to follow up with your clients and a true way to update your clients in one way or another. In your business, maybe you're a contractor. You forget to follow up on an estimate. People look for quotes in the contracting world. You know, if you don't follow up with a quote, then you might not get that business. Then maybe that's why the client ended up using that quote to get another contractor. And then you say, oh man, but they just did it for cheaper. Maybe. But what about the quality of your work? Because that's why you're charging more, right? Because you have better quality. So if you do have a better quality in your product, if you have a better quality in the way that you provide your service, then you got to show that. And that is shown on the follow-up. Maybe you're a law firm and you miss consultations callback. You know, people are calling the law firm. People have many lawyers to pick out of. And then at some point, they're going to call your law firm. They're going to ask you a couple of questions. Maybe they saw your ad somewhere. Maybe they really trust in you. But even if they really trust in you because of the way that you ad it's delivered, or because your ad is just everywhere and they just see that they can't trust you, period, no matter if they talk to you or not. If there's no follow-up, maybe there's another attorney that it is following up with them, that it is showing them that they are their customer, they are their priority, you know? Maybe because they're just dealing with less volume, but they're still their priority. They're still showing them one way or another through the follow-up process that they really care about that person, that they really care about the outcome of the case. It really makes a big difference. Now, let's understand the customer journey. Every customer climbs the same 5 steps. And CRM keeps anyone from falling out between these 5 steps. Now, what are the 5 steps? Lead. The moment that the customer becomes a lead. Maybe they came from your website. Maybe they got a phone call. Maybe it was a referral. You got a lead. Now, the contact process needs to happen. Are you calling them? Did they call you? Did you miss a call and you have to call them back? Are you reaching out after they left you a voicemail or a text message? Or is it just a referral? One of the clients just gave you a phone number and you have to call them, right? So we go to step 2, contacting the client, contacting the lead. What is the third step? Appointment. Through this process, as you're talking to them through the contacting them, you're going to have to set up some sort of appointment. It might be a Zoom call depending on your service and the service that you provide. It might be an in-house appointment because you might have to do some sort of inspection, because you have to build an estimate, because you have to get a quote out there, you know? So you have to set up an appointment. A lot of people always focus on the sale. I have to get it right now. I have to sign the contract today, and I have to do everything at the same spot right there, right away. And that is healthy. And that is what I do want you to focus, whatever business you are as a service provider. You do want to make sure that you get that deal as soon as possible, because the more time you leave for the brain to think, the more doubt there's going to be. So yes, I do want you to get that contract right away. But if you just focus on getting the contract and you're not focusing on anything else, then you might lose the deal. So instead of focusing on the contract from the beginning, most of the time, what you really have to do is focus on the appointment. And getting that appointment set is definitely one way to get your foot in the door to make sure that you get that contract signed. Once the appointment is happening, maybe it's a Zoom call, maybe it's an in-person, then you got a proposal out there. Depending on the type of problem that they have and depending on the type of solution that you provide, there will be a proposal right there on the spot. Ideally, you know, you want to be able to make sure that you have your ducks in a row, making sure that you know what type of offer you're going to be able to get to this client, depending on the problem, depending on other problems that you've seen for other clients, making sure that you have things ready for you to go, making sure that you have the paperwork ready, making sure that you can send it right away. And then after the proposal, we get a customer. Once they agree, once they see everything that's happening, once they understand, and once they're clear with everything that you're telling them, you got one person ready to go. You got a customer. And these are the 5 steps, the customer journey. Now, a homeowner could request an estimate, book an inspection, receive a quote, and truly become a customer. But if you don't follow your 5-step process and you don't keep up with that 5-step process, you might lose a client. Now, once the client has been acquired, this is when things really get fun. And this is what this slide is about. contacts, records, and communication. Once you have been able to acquire a client, it is important for you to be able to have the information of the client, because you might need to contact them for something, because you might need to reach out for an update. Maybe they're calling you back and you don't have their phone number saved. You don't know who it is, and you're just answering like you answer your business for a new client. They're like, you don't have my number saved already? Every contact should have a record. If you're using a spreadsheet, I mean, I feel bad for you, but at least make sure that you add a record for that contact. Now, if you're using a true CRM, you're going to be able to have space where you can actually start adding the record. You're going to have different things that you have to fill out to create that record within the CRM that you're using. Every contact should have a record. Every conversation should be tracked. Imagine you have created a record, you have the name of the client, you have their address, you have their phone number, you have the type of problem that they have, you have all of that recorded, you have the date that they signed the contract. But are you able to track the conversation, what was actually spoken about? Do you have that on record? Do you have that somewhere? It is important for you to be able to track the conversations that you have had. Even if you don't know 100% the context of each and every conversation, you should be able to say, we talked on the 15th, we talked on the 17th, on the 18th, I showed up to your house, on the 20th, I gave you the quote, on the 21st, you agreed. See, you'll be able to track the conversation. You'll be able to look more professional. They'll be able to see, the client will be able to see that you can truly handle their problem in an efficient manner, not taking your time, not trying to figure it out, but that you have an actual system. Notes prevent confusion across the team. If you are a service-based business and you're a solopreneur, clap it up to you. You're doing amazing, and I hope you continue to do amazing. But at some point or another, you're gonna want to scale, because you can't be wearing all your hats. You can't be wearing all the hats all the time. And you are going to have a right hand. You're going to have some sort of main customer support. You're going to have a business partner, somebody that's going to join your team. And that's when notes become really useful. Notes are really useful when you're a solopreneur and you really want to see what's going on and what has happened. So not only being able to track the conversation, but being able to track what has actually happened through the process and what you have delivered on and what is missing to be delivered. But it's also important that when you have a team member, that person can also track the conversation, that person can also see what has happened through that case, that has also seen what's happened through the fixing of the house, whatever service you are providing. You're a plumber, you got the appointment, you got the client, you checked what the problem was under the kitchen sink, you see that it's a P-trap issue. Did you order the P-trap? Do you have one in the truck? Did you charge the client? Did they pay you with a card? Did they pay you in cash? All of those things happen, and you should be able to some way share that with your team, because if they see all those things that happen and all of those things are added to the notes, then you won't have to repeat yourself. You don't have to tell them the whole story again. Everything is in the notes. Go check them out. You have everything right there. Make sure we got everything that we needed. Make sure that everything is inventory properly. Now, in this case, a CRM, what it truly does, it creates continuity. And this is what is important to scale, because again, as a solopreneur, you'll be able to do a few things, but you're going to want to scale. And once you actually start scaling, once you truly start looking at the next levels, you're going to need some sort of continuity. You're going to need some sort of system that works the same every time. And the CRM allows you to do that. It gives you that opportunity to be able to have a process that works the same way every time. The first time you're going to do it in one way. The second time you're going to do it in the very similar way, but you're going to tweak it a little bit. The third time you're going to tweak it a lot less. The fourth and the fifth time you're probably going to tweak it, not going to tweak it at all, and so on and so forth. By the sixth, seventh time, you won't even have to look at your process anymore. It just works every time. It doesn't matter what you do and how you do it. And that's what you need for scalability, continuity. So a law firm, you know who called, what the case is about, when the consultation happened, and more importantly, what's next. Now we have pipelines and opportunities tracking. It is important for you to understand the timeline of your service and your product. As we talked about the 5 steps, we talked about the journey of the customer itself. Now, for every service-based business, you're going to have a different timeline after the customer has been acquired. Depending on the service, you're going to have your own timeline. If you're an attorney, your timeline is crazy. You have a pre-suit process, you have a suit process, which is going to include a complaint process, and you might have a mediation within the pre-suit or after the complaint was filed. So many things can happen in the attorney world. If you're a contractor, after the client has been acquired, you need to make sure that you have an appointment set up for you to be able to either start the job, for you to be able to go get the material. Really understanding the timeline of your process is super key. And again, it is good that you have it in your memory and that you understand it from that perspective, but that is not the most efficient way, I tell you. And it is important for you to understand that even if you have that process in your brain and it just works every time and there's no reason for you to look at it again, it is important important for you to understand all your clients, where all your clients are within that process. And that is really what this provides. If you have some sort of system that works in the way that this is portrayed right now, in some sort of pipeline, you have your new clients all the way at the left, yeah, they have website leads, they have referrals, you have the ones that are coming out like that. Then out of those 2 clients, how many of them have actually been contacted? Okay, 1 was contacted, perfect. We have 1 under the estimates, and we actually have quote that was sent, and we're waiting for 4 days on the follow-up part of the pipeline, and we've won 1's actually signed. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clients that are currently in your pipeline for you to be able to sign them up. Now it's very clear for you exactly where they stand. Who are the 2 new clients? Who is the one that was contacted already? Who is the one that we're building an estimate for and a quote right now? Who is the one that we're actually following with to make sure they actually finish signing the contract? And who actually signed already? This is very easy to follow up when you have 2, 3, 4 clients. When you have 10, 20, 100 clients, you can have a really good memory. But even if you have a really good memory, you're just not going to want to deal with it. Your brain power, if you have the memory to understand and have the clear visual of where your 100 clients are within your pipeline, within your timeline, then your brain power should be spent somewhere else. Promise you. You should be doing something else and not focusing on where your clients are in the pipeline. You should be building some stuff, some other solutions for your business for you to be able to scale. So pipelines and opportunity tracking is key. And you want to make sure that you understand your pipeline, and you want to make sure that you understand your timeline for your business. A pipeline answers one question: what needs attention right now? And that's really what's important here. Now, this might be the most important slide that I have ever shared throughout all of the courses that I have in my academy. Follow-up systems. This is where clients are lost. This is where people fail. And this is where you want to become an expert. This is where you want to have an edge on top of everybody else. Because if you are the one that's better at following up, even if you suck in sales, even if you don't, if you're not good at getting clients, if you are good at the follow-up process, you will win more than others. Speed to lead matters. If you get a phone call for an opportunity, you definitely want to make sure that you pick that call right away. You don't want to miss the call. That's 100%. Now, if you do miss the call, or if the lead is coming from your website, from an ad, you don't want to take more than 5 minutes to call that lead. You don't want to take more than 10 minutes to get back to that lead, because you will most likely lose the client, especially after 10 minutes. More than 5 minutes, it's already tricky. More than 10 minutes, they might not even pick up, or you might have lost that client already. Consistency matters. You can get back to a client that called you today within the 5 minutes, and you'll be able to win that client. But once you have 10 clients, once you have 5 clients calling you in the same day, and you're just doing that for one single client, you're missing out. You might be missing out on 3 clients, 4 clients a day, even if it's happening on a weekly basis. Today, you got an amazing call and you were able to call them back and you were able to get everything figured out. But then tomorrow you're at the job site, or in the case, you're in the middle of it, you're working, and all of a sudden you got another call tomorrow, and they gave you an amazing call, and they gave you a voicemail, or they send you a text message. You were not able to get back to them within 10 minutes, then you lost that client. So all the work that you put on to get this first client, to make sure that you got something right, they refer you somebody, then that second client, you lost. So consistency matters, and in every aspect of your business, but especially on the follow-up. Now, follow-up shouldn't depend on memory. Guys, this is so key. Your memory is important, and it has a cap, and it's crucial for you to understand that that should be used for the most important part of your business when it comes to being efficient. But it shouldn't be the thing that you use for follow-ups. It shouldn't be the things that you use for your customer nurturing, because it will get all over the place, especially if you have a team. Then at that point, definitely your memory is not going to work, because if your memory is your memory, it's not your team's memory. So if you're looking to scale, definitely shouldn't be depending on memory, especially on the follow-up. You should be able to make sure that you have a system that keeps track of who needs to be follow-up, so that way you can check it at a specific time. That's where your memory should be. If anything, you can get an alert, if anything, to make sure that you know when you need to do your follow-ups. But even if that wasn't the case, the moment that you get to your follow-ups, instead of starting to think, oh, who should I follow up with? Just go to your list, go to your CRM, check out the people that you need to follow up right away. You got their phone number, you got their problem, you've tracked the conversation, you track the timeline, you see where they are in the pipeline. you know how to get them right away because you have everything documented. Most revenue is lost after the first conversation. A lot of people say that you need to have 10 conversations to get one client. Some people say, depending on the service that you provide, that you need 100 conversations to get to maybe 2 to 3 clients. So depending on the service, you will have your numbers and you will know exactly what it takes for you to be able to get a client. But I can tell you for sure that if you only had one single conversation with that person and there was never a follow-up and there was never something that truly happened after that first conversation, sayonara. You wasted your time. You got to that one person, you talked to that person, you had a conversation. Maybe they told you that they need to think about something. Maybe they told you that it just wasn't the right time. Maybe they told you to get them back later, and you're just focused on getting new clients. So you continue to get new clients, so you continue to get new ones. What about the old conversations that you've had that were kind of left in the air? People are left in the fence, the yes and the no. Those are key conversations. Those are the follow-up. You got a lot of leads already. Work with them. Make sure that you follow up and you'll win more. An agency nails the discovery call. So you spend a lot of time in the discovery. You see who are the clients that best fit your service, but then never send the proposal on time. You said that you were going to send it a minute after the call, but then you really didn't have it ready and you have to go and get it ready. And then it didn't take a minute, but it took 10 minutes. It doesn't look good. Even worse if you send the next day. Okay. So be ready every time. Reporting and business visibility. You need to understand what are the amount of clients that you usually need to talk to be able to understand what is the number that you expect to acquire as an actual client that signed up based on the global number of the amount of clients that you talk to. So let's say you have a 32% conversion rate. So out of every 100 clients that you talk to, you got 32 clients. Or out of every 10 clients that you talk to, you're getting 3 clients to 4 clients. Where are the leads coming from? Where are those leads coming from, right? They could be coming from websites, referrals, ads, from your socials. So it is important to know where your leads are coming from. Do you have a system that tells you where your leads are coming from? Or is it all out of memory? Is it all because you know? Is it all because you're kind of checking other stuff in many different third-party tools from all over the place? You have Google ads running, you check your Google ads. You have Facebook ads running, you check your Facebook ads. So you have to check like 2 different things to see where your clients are coming from. You check your website and your lead generation format that you have in there. So you have to check your website as well. So now you're checking 3 different things. You're also checking your phone because some clients come from the phone. You can get crazy. You're checking like 4 different places. Now you do have to understand what's converting. How many leads converted from Google ads? How many leads converted from Facebook ads? How many leads converted from my Google business? How many people are calling me from my phone and where did they find my phone number? Without reporting, decisions become guesses. If there's no reporting, if there's no way for you to truly understand where your clients are coming from, and you don't have that in some sort of report, then you're just guessing. You're guessing to see how much ads spend you're going to add to your Facebook ads. You're guessing to see how much you're going to spend on Google ads. And if you're guessing, especially when you start spending money, then you're going to be throwing your money into the trash because you don't even know. You don't even know what's working. You don't even know if referrals is truly the thing that's working out for you the most. And that's really where you should put most of your money in. It's really important for you to understand reporting because the decisions are not a guess anymore. They're decisions based on facts, based on data. And that's what's important. Visibility creates accountability. Being able to visualize how everything is coming, where everything is coming from, and what the reports are truly telling you, it creates accountability for you and it creates accountability for that process that you're implementing. If you already know that Google ads it's bringing you 10 new clients every month, then now you have accountability for Google ads. Now you understand the amount of money that you put to be able to get the amount of clients that you got. And if that doesn't happen in the next month, then there's an accountability thing that you have to now think about. It's now really Google ads working the same way, right? Is Facebook ads working in the same way? Are my clients actually referring the same amount of clients? Are service becoming worse that I'm not getting any more referrals? New leads, maybe you have 248 leads that you just got, boom. Out of those, 19 got into the pipeline. They actually started a good conversation and now they're actually in the pipeline specifically. But then now you have 14 clients that just got stuck. Maybe they're in the fence, maybe they're thinking about it. Maybe they haven't really checked your quote yet. Maybe they don't feel like they need the service anymore. You need to know. And then maybe there's 6 that need attention. Maybe there's 6 that want to look at a different offer. They want to maybe hear something else. In your business, maybe Google ads should show how many leads become appointments, proposals, and customers. And you could get that. You could get all those reports depending on what you're using. If you're getting all of that from many different places, God bless you. And I hope you are getting a lot of them, period. But the fact that you have to check in many different places, it could truly become a trouble. It can make it really hard for you to do your job on a daily basis because, again, you're wearing many different hats and you're playing customer acquisition at the same time that you're playing provider service, and you're only one person. So how much time can you spend on client acquisition and how much time you can actually spend on providing the service to the clients that you already have? It's important to understand, because that's really what's going to tell you how much you can truly work and either or, and what is it that it really should take priority. And that's maybe when having a team actually makes sense. Now, the holy grail, the best of the best, having a CRM that has automations inside that is also integrated with AI. Oh my God, what a beautiful world we live in. That is the most amazing thing ever. The CRM is just the foundation. The CRM is really the base of it all, where the data lives, where the information is at, in one single place. Everything from your client's information, where their status, where they are, where they came from, where they're from, everything. Once you have all of that in an actual CRM in one single place, now you can actually start automating. So that way you can reduce your work, right? When it comes to actually being able to keep up with the client specifically. Automations help you reduce work. When you have all of that and you can integrate AI to it, now you have support. You have all of the data that lives in the CRM. You have some of the automations that are working, making sure that they take one client from one step to another. Maybe you have some alerts going on, those are automations. And once you integrate AI to it, now you actually have support. Maybe the AI itself can truly do things to make sure that that client is follow-up, that that client does have some sort of support in one way or another that would have gotten it from you, but at this point it's actually the AI providing that. The goal is a smart business system, and that's what a CRM truly helps you do. It truly helps you build a smart business system for you to be able to make sure that you provide the best service possible in your industry, so you can win more than the person next to you. In your business, track leads in a CRM, automate reminders, and use AI to draft replies or summarize conversations could be key, and could be the one thing that makes you unique and gives you an edge in your neighborhood to be the one that actually wins the most. Let's get to it. We're going to be talking about the CRM that we use internally and how do we implement it. Thank you so much for joining the course. See you in the next one.